You realize that you're doing it for 100 people, right?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cheeky Garage. My name's Tommy Cheek. If it's your first time here, welcome. If not, welcome back. And today, we're tackling the exhaust on old Gumby. So, stay tuned. I have an X pipe, a bunch of 45s, some 180s, some straight pipe, and 2 mufflers, some exhaust hangers, and some clamps. They were acquired from the X pipe builder kit. Came from Speed Engineering, and I'm using Black Widow Venom 250 mufflers. And then I picked up 2 more 45s and a 4-foot piece of straight from Summit. I didn't realize that the X pipe builder kit was polished 304 stainless, so I was like, screw it, and I bought polished 45s and the straight from Summit. Mufflers aren't polished, don't really care one way or the other, but that's that. We're gonna put all our faith here in the old Harbor Freight horizontal / vertical bandsaw. If you get one of these, don't do like I did. Don't do like I did, and put it together and then try to wheel it without putting the pin in, because it will do a nosedive. It will jump up into the air and swan dive into the floor. So, key feature here, this guy. Don't mess around with that guy. And there's the truck, and there's a friend. Look, I do have friends. I'm not doing this totally solo, the whole process. And let's dive in. Okay, so we have the X pipe. The X pipe is slip fit here and here, so there's a little wiggle room in there currently. I won't be clamping, I'll be welding that joint. But if you buy this X pipe, just know that it comes with clamps for that. And I have my Summit 45 here with my big butt clamp here, butt joint clamp, and it's looking really nice. And we just, obviously it's too long, we'll have to cut one of these down, and this is too low currently. Get under here. Hell yeah, long tubes. So I need to figure out the height difference and then do some math. And then we'll cut this guy off, you know, essentially the hypotenuse of our triangle, and that should get it on the same plane as this one. And then make another cut or add a piece of, you know, short piece of pipe, whatever we got to do there. And that's that. Alrighty, folks, we got one side here, and it's looking really good. We're working on the next side, but I figured I'd stop, take a break, and update everybody. Update on this piece of crap. In my opinion, this is no more than garage art at the moment. Granted, keep in mind I'm spoiled. I use very nice bandsaws at work on a daily basis. And also, I just bought a couple different blades from Harbor Freight. I have not ordered a very high quality blade, and I'm also you know, thin wall stainless pipe is about the most abusive material that I can think of to cut with a bandsaw, especially a cheap one. So with that said, it's probably not totally a piece of crap. If I had some good blades, you know, it still probably wouldn't be the best thing for this application. But the jaw, it was square to the blade, both in this way and, you know, vertically. And I mean, I've tried horizontal, I've tried just kind of rolling the pipe through the vertical. We broke a blade doing that. So at this point, I'm just cutting the rest of the shit with a grinder, with good results. But yeah, so garage art, but probably just due to cheap blades and the pipe that I'm cutting with it. We're currently just trying to make this transition from the collector to the exhaust. And really, the way what I've got in mind, this is pretty much the most difficult part. From there, it should be kind of a breeze getting back to where I'm going to run my mufflers to. So you'll sit tight. Alright, now we have driver side and passenger side tacked. Looks pretty good. We'll come back here. looking pretty nice. And I didn't show you guys earlier, but I'm using these little pieces of angle here that I had here at the house, and I'm spaced just 2 pieces of 1/4 inch flat stock to drop it down, so the exhaust will be 1/2 inch, the X pipe will be 1/2 inch below the frame rail. Unfortunately, I really wanted to keep it tucked up in the frame rail, but the clearance on the U-joint and the yoke and everything was just too tight to get it perfectly flush. But if you want to just roll it back and forth a little bit so we can see our clearance here, we should be good. And again, the that slip yoke of the transmission, you know, the trans is pretty rigid mounted. It's on a polyurethane mount, but it's not like it's going to go up and down right there. And then, you know, there's not a lot of suspension travel on this little truck. It's not like some big off-road rig or whatever. So any droop that happens in the drive shaft, it won't break the plane of the exhaust until well past the X pipe. So I think that's perfect, and we're gonna probably do some welding here in a second. We're back purging, about to weld. See you in just a second. All right, we are welded, both sides. And I did go ahead and weld the X pipe. It was kind of handy using the clamps just for mock-up, but honestly the clamps are actually not that good. They didn't actually clamp to where you like could not move the X pipe anymore, and I was hitting it with the big Milwaukee impact, so I'm glad I was planning on welding these anyway. But the clamps did help. They did aid, and you know, it's got that little split right there, so it's considerably bigger, and there's some wiggle room, which that helped with fit up. You know, you can kind of fudge it a little bit, and then the clamp, you know, you tighten the clamp down and it closed the gap, which made for a nice weld. So it all worked out. But no, please know, if you're going to buy this kit, that those clamps, at least in my configuration, I don't know if maybe I was fudging it too much, but the clamps I could actually not get to clamp down, you know, permanently on the X pipe. But anyways, we're welded from the header back to the X pipe. Now we're gonna start working on tailpipes and mufflers, and this is where I have to start getting creative. So y'all sit tight. Alrighty folks, there it is. It has been entirely too long since I've worked on it last. I did a lot of stewing on battery location, and I've just made the decision to leave it where it is. I got a little something planned for that. I'll show you here in just a minute, but I was really second guessing my battery location, so much so that I actually made another battery box and tried to mount it here. You know, I thought maybe mount it here, but then hell, it's still pretty close to the exhaust. So, you know, the thought, you know, move it a little further back would be nice for weight, but to try to put it here, even mounted, not vertically but horizontally, which you should be able to do with an Optima. You know, there's a little structural rib that sits pretty much right on here, so to put the box flush, even with the battery on its side, I only would have had like 3 inches of suspension travel, which is pretty stiff back here. It doesn't have a whole lot of travel, but man, it just seemed a little too tight for me. Plus I wouldn't mind taking the back of the truck down another inch or so. It's got, or at least before all this, it had a little bit more rake than I would have liked, but this is how we're gonna roll with it. It's under the truck, lots of airflow, and I got something planned. I'll show you in just a second, but it's all done. It looks really nice, in my opinion, for some, you know, just some hack job, just some hack in his garage to whip up. Hangers turned out beautiful. Bought these hangers from Summit. They came with some round rod, pretty much shaped just like that, except in the steel and 5/16 diameter. So I made these out of 3/8. They fit in the rubber grommet a lot tighter, and they won't rust. And yeah, this thing ain't going anywhere. It's solid. Again, it right here in the middle, pretty much from about right in here to the back of the X pipe. It's about a 1/2 inch below the frame, and then I'm not sure if you can really tell, so it kind of runs flat, and then I kind of kick the 45s up at a slight angle as it runs back, so from about right here back it's no longer below the frame. You know, Black Widow Venom 250s, 3" in, 3" out. Turn downs, kind of kicked out at a slight angle. I think it looks pretty good. For anybody that didn't know, I knew it was offset, but the drive line in an S10's offset by maybe, I don't know, inch and a half. And man, is it apparent. The 8.8 might exacerbate that slightly. You know, obviously it's narrowed on center and all that good stuff, but with the you know, the pinion a little offset from center, so the drive shaft hugs the passenger side a bit, but the exhaust does stay pretty centered in the frame rails, within probably 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. You know, I wasn't going for perfection really. The headers come down at slightly different angles, but both angles are pretty damn close to 45, and so that's all these are. That one and that one are 45s. They come at, you know, slightly different angles. I mean, I'm talking a degree or two, but then, you know, just with the way that 45 comes down, this one comes over and in, a little bit of fudging going on there. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty damn straightforward, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's it. 3" stainless exhaust. Let me show you what I got planned for hopefully keeping that battery alive next to the heat. Okay, so I whipped this up at work, just cut it out, bend it on the brake. I'll try to do this one-handed here. This is like I don't know, 14 or 16 gauge 304 stainless. That's all we work in my industry is stainless steel, so that's what I had. And I'm gonna really try to do this one-handed, but it might not work out. So it's gonna go something like that. Needs a little trimming, but pretty much just a little heat barrier box with a 1" air gap all the way around the battery. I'm gonna have to add some little tabs to the frame, drill and tap, to actually mount that. But it's the height of the battery, a little bit, I think it's a little taller than the battery. And then I will wrap that, at least the side that faces the exhaust, in this DEI floor and tunnel shield. It's like a 3/16 thick, I believe fiberglass, I could be wrong, but it's an insulator with an aluminum kind of golf ball looking reflective deal on the outside, and then some really badass adhesive on the back side. So I'm gonna wrap the outside of the box in this stuff, coat my edges with the cool tape, also from DEI, as well as wrap the muffler itself with the DEI Muffler Shield Kit. It's pretty much the exact same stuff. It is it's not like exhaust tape, like you'd wrap your headers or whatever. It's that same aluminum fiberglass, possibly something else, about 3/16 thick, and comes with I think 4 of these big stainless clamps. So just use your imagination with a little shiny box around the battery with an air gap as well as a heat wrap around the muffler, try to keep the heat in. Couple that with air flowing under the truck, I think it'll be all right. At least I hope. Never done this before, and I am no scientist, but I'm just doing my garage, and that's how I'm going to try to roll. And with as solid as this freaking thing is here, it is definitely not going to be wobbling back and forth, hitting the drive shaft or my little heat shield. So, guys, that's where we're at. Oh yeah, I forgot. Let me grab this. So, I got these guys, and I totally forgot to put them on yet. But these are the O2 Sensor Bungs, and I will have to drill this size hole and then weld them on in here. So I still need to do that, but you guys get the idea. 3-inch stainless X pipe on the S10. Trying to take some baby steps here. Been really freaking busy with work and just other stuff going on. Spent the last 9 days in Alabama for work, working a plant shutdown, and we're just balls to the wall in like all regards with life right now. So guys, I appreciate it if you've made it this far in the video. If you like what I'm doing over here, LS swapping my 1993 S10. His name's Gumby. Definitely give me a like, subscribe. Definitely subscribe, at least moving forward, because I can't promise that I'm going to be able to upload videos with any kind of regularity. So if you subscribe or hit the bell notification or whatever, you should like get notified whatever when I upload. So, but anyways, thanks for watching. My name's Tommy Cheek, and this is Cheeky Garage. And hey man, till next time, y'all have a good one.